Well, Bill is one of our regular viewers and keeps me abreast of the Kansas City Chiefs every week, whether he's watching from the party at Zudar's or whether he's buzzing me on Facebook.
Right.
I'm ready to admit that they're leading the AFC West right now. We'll see if they're the best team in the AFC West come the end of the year. I still think that there's this team out in San Diego that might do pretty well, but we'll see about that. I don't know. We'll see how that works out. I mean, it's amazing.
They've made a statement. They're doing a lot better than I thought they would at the beginning of the year. I'm extremely impressed.
What do you do?
But the season is still young.
Yeah, the season's real young. I mean, and we'll see what happens. Now, you played all the way to the Arena Bowl this year, and we were talking a little bit about before the show about time constraints and preparing for Arena Bowl.
Yeah.
I think of you're playing essentially on a hockey rink. It's like when we were kids, almost, okay, go down to the fire hydrant and,
take a right.
Take a right, do you do a button
if that doesn't
over?
work, do something else.
Exactly, it's that kind of stuff. But, well, it's not really. I mean, guys are moving at the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot going on. And yet, you told me beforehand that you were working during the day and playing arena ball at night.
I was. It's funny, it's professional football, but it's a lot different than I expected. And, it's even changed a lot because the league folded, I think, in 2007, and this was its first year back. So because the pay is less, the time restraints are much less. And in order to be able to live, these guys got to have jobs. And which is pretty cool, which I think is appealing to a lot of fans because they like to see the normal guy out there that has a job. He might be working real estate, he might be working at a restaurant. No matter what it is that he's doing, he's working and he's still able to go out there and compete, and that's exactly why I decided to play. I just wanted to compete. I'm working for a development company right now called Imperium Development and learning an awful lot and enjoying it, but I just love the game of football, and it was a great opportunity to play in my hometown. But I'll tell you what, it was challenging, learning the game, learning all the different throws. It is not the same. You could take Brett Favre, you could take Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and if you throw them in the middle of a game, in an arena game, they would not be effective, and I can guarantee that they wouldn't. It's difficult.
It's a different ballgame. Angles are different. The
angles
windows
are different.
Yeah.
Timing's different. Yeah. Plays are different. Reads are different. It's just completely different, and it's a very instinctive game. Something that you kind of have to grow into because of the timing and the way things happen so fast. You have to anticipate. And if you're not comfortable and used to it and used to the angles, there's just no way to be effective. So it took me a while, just to feel like I was, even half decent, to be honest.
Well, that's great. I mean, it's great to hear that you can step into it and just let the old juices kind of flow, but at the same time, it's a learning curve.
Exactly.
I mean people talk about, another quarterback young in town, Josh Freeman, learning. The speed between the pros and college is a little different.
I would say so. I would say more so because of the mental aspects of the game than the actual physical 40 times of players.
Right.
I'm sure that, obviously it's a little faster, but when you play at a major university, you're playing against a lot of fast guys. I mean, there's not, I think the biggest difference is the guys are faster not because they're physically, they run faster 40s, is because mentally they know what to do on every snap. Yeah. Their awareness and their anticipation and their instinct is just phenomenal.
Right.
They pay attention to down and distance. They pay attention to minor details that average kids in college don't.
Right.
Like, an offensive tackle stance, whether he's got his weight on his hand or whether he's got his weight off of his hand.
He's backing up, he's coming forward on a running play.
He's coming forward.
Yeah.
Picking up on, little signals and dummy, not being fooled by a quarterback walking up to the line of scrimmage, and he may be appearing to change the play, but he's not. He's really just
the Peyton Manning thing.
Yeah, making dummy calls, and there's just a number of things. And I think a guy like Ray Lewis is the perfect example. He coming out of college, he ran a 4.5. I guarantee during the season right now, I bet he runs a 4.8.
Yeah,
but he still plays.
He gets there faster than everybody else does.
Yeah, he still plays like he's running a 4.5 because he just knows what's going to happen before it happens.
Right.
And it's because he studies and he's smart and he pays attention to
detail. And then he punishes you when he gets there. You talk about being punished. He tears your head off.
Yes, he definitely does that.
That's right. Well, let's do this. We've been talking about, there are all sorts of exciting things happening in the world of sports, and this week is no different. Congratulations to the San Francisco Giants, world champions. I was blown away by the way the Giants pitching just kind of
dominated,
took care of those guys, and we'll talk about that a little bit further. Randy Moss gets waived. Yeah.
That whole situation is a mess. It's actually a little closer to home for me than most. My best friend, Logan Payne, went to Land Lakes High School with me. He was a year older than I was, and then he went off to the University of Minnesota. He was with Minnesota and got released 2 days before Randy Moss came in.
Wow.
And coincidentally, he was wearing number 84 before Randy
Not
Moss
anymore.
got there. Not anymore.
Neither one of them are now.
Yeah, it was tough. He ended up getting hurt and he was on the practice squad, got hurt, so they released him. And then Randy Moss, literally, I think it was the next day, Randy Moss signed. And if he would have been there, Randy would have had to pay him.
He'd have paid him for the jersey.
He would have paid him for the jersey.
Yeah, you know he'd have paid him
so
for
I
the
missed
jersey.
out, but guess where Logan ended up?
Where's that?
The next week, who were the Minnesota Vikings playing the week after he left?
Patriots. No. They just paid him last week.
The Jets.
The Jets.
Guess where Logan Payne ended up?
Oh, wow.
At the
amazing.
Jets.
That's great. I got a call coming in. Go ahead. You're on Sports. Well, missed him. Well, let's see here. Randy Moss interviews himself. I watched this surreal thing where he talks to himself, he interviews himself, and then he goes on the whole, okay, the next day he's waived. And he was picked up, I understand, today by the Titans. So, he's picked up. Other things going on, Brett Favre, quarterback you just mentioned, gets injured again. I don't think that's as big a deal as maybe some people might, because, heck, as long as he can stand, he's going to start. Was it 292 games and counting, right?
Oh, it's unbelievable. I don't know how he does it. I have a problem getting out of bed, and I've
and you're
played
not
half as much
You're
as
25, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead. You're on Sports Sound Off, caller.
Hey, Randy, how you doing this evening?
Doing great. Thanks for the call.
You're welcome. I'm enjoying your show. Listen, I don't know if you've already broached the subject of the World Series, but I've got a question for you, and perhaps your guest as well. Being a big baseball fan, I watched the series with great interest. And, when the Giants won, I was a little crestfallen because I lived in Texas for about 15 years, and I was there suffering through all those horrible years with the early Rangers. But that said, I was happy for the Giants. Now, in the post-game celebration, when they announced that Edgar Renteria had won the MVP, I was kind of thrown back a little bit, Randy, and I said, how in the world can they overlook that boy Lincecum? Hell, he beat Cliff Lee twice, and he won Game 1 and Game 5. So, I mean, any thoughts on that?
Thanks for the call. I can tell you this. Here's what I think. Tim McCarver in the post, right as the game was ending, said, well, I expect Lincecum to get the MVP. He's done something that, only Bob Gibson, who was his battery mate, has done since the 68 World Series. I expect him to win. And I was as surprised as anybody. I don't see how Lincecum gets overlooked for that. He was unbelievable and carried that ball team, and the guy is just amazing. So I'm with you very much. I think Lincecum's the MVP.
Yeah, I don't know how they work out some of the MVP voting.
Yeah, well, presser voting, and I understand that guys in their press box, but there's no way. Not at all.
I'm with Randy. I disagreed. With what
I'm
happened
with
there.
you. Well, let's do this. Let's keep going. Things going on. This is a tribute, actually, to a friend of mine, Buddy, who's a Dallas fan, who asked me, is Dallas done last week? Yes, Dallas is done. Rest in peace. If anybody saw the game last week, Kitna was not looking really good, and Romo's on the sidelines. In the wrong position. He's got a sling on. He's got the head.
He's in bad shape.
It's just not the way to go.
When it rains, it pours.
It's terrible to ask. Also going on this week, something for me. Oh, we got an email coming in. Let's take a look at this. Got an email. Chris asked, what happened to McNabb? Oh, well, there's another strange thing. How do you sit a guy that you brought in as your franchise quarterback, traded for, and you sit him down? Shanahan didn't really say anything for me that was exciting about how he sits McNabb. But as a quarterback, how do you feel about, I'm your starting guy and then you put me down?
Well, the problem that I have with it is that not only does McNabb lose confidence, but I think the rest of the team loses confidence. When you pull your starter, what does that look like to everybody else? That you don't have faith in the guy that you brought in to ultimately win a Super Bowl. I mean, that's what they want to do is win a Super Bowl. And when you start messing with quarterbacks, it really affects their confidence, and it really, even more so, and I don't think coaches think about this, affect the confidence of all the other players and what the type of confidence they have in the quarterback.
When you step in the huddle, they go, well, is this the guy?
Is this the guy or is it not the guy? Because, he was the guy for the first, 7 games, and then he gets pulled or
he's
whatever,
not the guy anymore.
And he's not the guy.
Yeah.
I think it's important to let quarterbacks fight